So good morning, everybody at Six Nations and those out in our listening area or viewing area. Here to give another update. This one it was as of August 26th. And just want a reminder on our Public Works Department that the bridge number 9, located on 4th line between Chiefswood Road and Tuscarora Road, is now closed and is being replaced. And our plan is that it will be finished and reopened by December. So, I know that it's an inconvenience for those that live in that area, but it's going to be finished before you know it, and in time for Christmas. So again, we apologize for the inconvenience caused, but it is necessary to get it replaced for everyone's safety. And we have worked with both the fire and emergency services and the police to ensure that they have manpower stationed on both sides of the bridge so that they will be able to respond to any emergencies. And the infrastructure upgrades project downtown Ohsweken is moving along and it's coming to a close. I know it's been a long time, but we're getting there. The end is in sight. The curbs have been installed, and they're going to start placing the asphalt now over the area, and it's going to start to look really nice. The project is scheduled to be completed in October, but we expect that as of the end of September or late September, the major disruptions will be completed. And all that will be left will be landscaping and cleanup. So we're getting there, and as I said, it's just a couple more weeks, so we just ask everybody to bear with us. We really appreciate your patience and understanding as we undertake this project, which also is for the benefit of the community. And we apologize for the inconvenience that this may have caused. We know as I said, it has been a long haul going through this disruption. There's been some issues come up, but we are almost at the end. So thank you again, and please be prepared to give yourself some extra time getting to and from the village as there will be some traffic delays. And I would also like to encourage people to keep visiting the businesses in downtown Ohsweken, not only now, but also once the construction is complete. They rely on our support to make their businesses flourish, so we encourage you to keep supporting them. And once all this construction is finished, that council may look at having some kind of an event in a Veterans Park just to help stimulate the economy for the businesses in downtown Ohsweken. A new splash pad opened on Friday, August 19th, and it's been enjoyed by the kids every day since. I know we've had some hot days since it opened, and but it's there now for the kids. We don't have any benches right beside the splash pad, but so if you're going to go there, I encourage you to bring your fold-up chairs so you can sit on them when you're have your kids visiting the splash pad. There's also been some issues come up too. We've seen some kids riding their bikes through there, and some people want to take their dogs in there. That splash pad is just for the kids, so please have that respect for that, and no bikes allowed and no dogs allowed. It's for the little kids to enjoy, so we're going to put up a sign just putting out the rules and regs for using that. We've also, Council has also approved a $20 inspection fee for the pre-approval procedure for processing roofing, shingles, and construction debris materials. This will come into effect on October 1st, and it will run for a 1-year trial basis. So please watch for the flyers for notifying this, and if you have any questions, you can call the Public Works office. We're also proud to announce that with all of the infrastructure that's been going on over not only this past year, but for this term of this 56th elected council, we are approaching having received at least or over $10 million of additional funding that we have been able to secure for all these projects for our community. So it's been a lot of hard work, but you can start to see the successes of our traveling and successes of the contacts we've made with the government. So as I said, everything we do is for the benefit of our community. Talking about funding, I just want to talk a bit about the audit. Long before the enactment of the First Nations Financial Transparency Act, Six Nations Elected Council has been publicly providing independent, third-party audited financial statements and a schedule of remuneration and expenses for Chief and Council. We've been doing that on an annual basis, and we are dedicated to remaining an open, transparent, and accountable government. The elected council recently released their consolidated financial statement for the 2015-16 fiscal year, which is from April 1st, 2015 to March 31st, 2016. The statement includes information on the elected council's financial position, operations, assets, and cash flows. Our total revenue was $66,753,219. And that revenue includes all of our assets, our buildings, all of the assets that we own, which are now included as part of our revenue. Our total expenses were $61,067,910, which left a surplus of $5,685,309. And bear in mind again that that includes our assets, which council is listed as the owner of, the buildings, bridges, all of that kind of stuff. On our operational side, we broke even from a financial standpoint. However, we were only able to do that because we've had to use some of our gaming dollars, or our OFNLP funds, which is Ontario First Nations Limited Partnership. We've had to use some of that funding to offset deficits in public works and fire and emergency services and recreation, because the government funding that we receive is insufficient to meet the needs of those three areas, and in central admin. So we're going to continue to advocate all levels of government to address the chronic underfunding of important community programs and services, and we'll also continue to try and look at how we can generate more wealth for our community. Our audit was submitted on time to Indian Affairs, and for anyone wishing to review our audit, it is available on our website at www.sixnations.ca. I also just want to talk a bit about the expenses that were reported for the elected council. There is a section that reports the honorarium. The honorarium for the chief is $71,500, and for the councillors it's around $36,000. And there are travel expenses as well. And the travel expenses are costs that are associated with the travel itself. It should not be considered as an additional honorarium. It is money for airfare, mileage, hotels, and meals. It is not money that's going, say, into my pocket. It's the money that is used to pay the travel expenses when it's necessary for me to travel. And this is a necessary cost of carrying out the business for elected council. And it is reported along with the honorarium so that we can be transparent to all the operating costs associated with the important work done by all members of council. And I just talked about all of the infrastructure that we've gotten in this community and the dollars we've been able to secure. That wouldn't have been possible if we don't do any traveling and get out there and really promote and advocate for our community. I want to talk now a bit about the gas cards. The Ministry of Finance we had them here not too long ago, and we've been making a lot of noise about the gas cards. So the Ministry of Finance is now going through a process where they're going to be seeking advice from First Nations communities on how to improve on the modernization of the Ontario Gas Card program, which comes under the Gasoline Tax Act. The Ministry wants to improve the program to make it easier for on-reserve gasoline retailers to get their refunds from the Ministry of Finance for their tax-exempt sales to First Nations consumers. So all First Nations individuals, communities, organizations, and gasoline industry stakeholders are encouraged to submit their concerns and how this can be improved. As Six Nations has the most gas retailers of any reserve, we have to make sure our concerns are expressed. So we will be organizing a meeting of all the gas retailers, and anyone else is invited to come as well. And so a forum where they can come and provide their comments and their input. We'll record them, and then we'll collate them, and we'll send them in to the Ministry of Finance. If you don't want to attend the meeting, you can also contact our office, and we can tell you how you can submit your information in writing or online. The deadline for the responses is October 31st, 2016. And the session we have planned with the gas retailers will be on Monday, September 19th at 2 o'clock at the Council Chambers. If you require any additional information, you can contact Arlene Miracle, our Community Liaison Officer, at 519-445-2201. Six Nations Social Services wants me to announce that there is a new family well-being program. They have received funding from the Ontario Ministry of Children and Youth Services to start this new program. And the program is part of a joint initiative between the Ministry and Indigenous communities across the province. Each community will develop their own program model to reflect their own unique needs. Funding for this program is coming from Walking Together, which is Ontario's long-term strategy to end violence against Indigenous women, and a first investment under the Ontario Indigenous Children and Youth Strategy. The Family Wellbeing Program will focus on increasing access to prevention-based services that will help prevent problems before they happen. The long-term goal is to help strengthen families to help keep our children out of the child welfare program and to strengthen our families and our community. Social Services wants to work with community members to develop the model for this program. So consultation with community members and service providers will be held in the next few weeks. So watch our websites and our Facebook pages and Twitter pages for those dates as they will be released shortly. Six Nations Social Services also wants to hear from you. As part of the Ontario Indigenous Children and Youth Society, they have been asked to find out what your experiences have been in accessing children's mental health and developmental services. Social Services is developing a report that will tell people's stories about their experiences when they try to get services for their children. This is for both Six Nations programs and for programs off reserve. The goal of the project is to show what is working and what needs to be improved so our children are getting the best possible services. Your stories can help form the basis for future program planning and funding. So Social Services will be holding meetings with families, community members, and elders in the next few weeks. And again, the dates will be announced, so watch for those dates to be posted.